It's time to go on an adventure. Got my water bottle. This is the most important thing I could take with me today. Let's go check out some community gardens. Hold on, y'all. We will chat when I have safely made it to the first destination. Okay, so we've arrived, I think, except I'm a little confused. I see the park, do not see the garden, and I have to pee. So something is off. I might ask a random civilian. Okay, just talked to somebody, so we are in the right spot. It's just there's a tennis court in front of me right now, and that's why I was confused. But I gotta walk up to the actual park, so that problem is solved, but I still have to pee. But before I go out into the wild, I thought that I would share a little bit as to why I am at a community garden right now. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like the ban on TikTok really shook me. As much as I think TikTok was such a valuable platform to candidly share our experiences and learn about what's going on in the world, I think there was also a lot of flaws with TikTok itself. Truthfully, the fact that it can go away for not even an entire 24 hours and come back, but as this ultra restricted and censored version kind of disgusts me. And I think that it's left me, as well as a lot of people that I've been talking to in the last couple days in this space, where we're realizing how important it is to move from a point of continuing to build community with this more heightened awareness that these platforms are not for us and they could be taken away and censored and used however they might, and we have no control over that. And earlier today I was feeling bad about myself, and I was feeling a lot of hopelessness. In my most recent hike in Yap, I kind of talk about the same exact energy that I've been in. I've just been extremely anxious recently, and everything just feels very uncomfortable to me right now. And so it's kind of like a continuation of this feeling, but I feel like with the recent TikTok ban and the inauguration in the US, hello non-US viewers, I think I've just been very overwhelmed recently, and yeah, I've been trying to find ways out of it. But luckily for me, all of my platforms are intentional, and I've been really fortunate to converse with people online and be shown resources for people who are feeling similarly and are striving to find community outside of social media and these spaces where a lot of us honestly were brought together. I started on TikTok because I wanted to find herbal community and I wanted to find like-minded people, and I just wasn't feeling like that was existing in my day-to-day life. I literally started my TikTok so that I could not only create that space, but also attract like-minded people and connect with like-minded people. So it's been really disheartening for me to see how the app is now being censored and how easy it is for our government to take away those spaces and that access to information and community and income, because so many people were making money on TikTok, and for that to be threatened and gone within the blink of an eye, even if it did come back, just the fact that the app was officially banned, regardless of the amount of time that it was actually banned, is mind-boggling and really frustrating. And it's really forced me to reassess why I have those spaces online, where I want to go, and how to create community outside of online spaces. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and that's where I was at 30 minutes ago when I was laying on my floor about to completely spiral. And then I remembered something really awesome. I remembered that I have free will and I have the power to do the things that I want. I had nothing planned for the rest of the day, and as I was scrolling online, I came across a post that said to do something that brings you joy. And it was much deeper than that, actually. The entire post, hold on, let me pull it up. It was this post right here. I'm actually gonna just put a link to the post in my bio because I think all of y'all should check out this post. But the entire post is titled "They Play Too Much, Time to Pack Our Digital Bags and Grow." And it just essentially lays out these 7 action steps to not only improve our quality of life, but to take back our power to actually form real community and provide mutual aid and support for each other. This was a post that was reposted by a friend of mine online. So once again, I am just so grateful for the people in my life and the constant support, both directly and indirectly, that they provide, because seeing that post is the only reason I'm here right now. But one of the 7 steps was to expand community, and underneath that it gives a couple of examples. So it says find a community garden, local tool library, or connect with a repair cafe. And so that is why I am here at a community garden. And out of all of those options, this is the one that I connected with the most, because since the beginning of my herbal journey, I, for one, have always dreamed of having a community garden where I can grow and share mutual aid through medicinal herbs and herbal consultations and just all things herbal in a community space. And since moving to Seattle, finding a community garden is something that I have been meaning to do for a long time. But the main thing holding me back is the fact that I have never gardened before. I don't know how to garden, and that kind of scares me. I have so many seeds at home, and maybe I'll show y'all my seeds, because I would like to say it's quite an impressive collection of medicinal herb seeds. And so for a long while, I have wanted to join a community garden. I don't know, form community in that way, in person, in real life. And apart from my inability to actually garden, I have also just been anxious. You know, I'm an introverted person, and I've never really been one for social settings. Not that I consider a community garden a social setting, but I'm definitely more of an inward at-home person. And so I just haven't actually ever challenged myself to go out and visit even a community garden. So that's what we're doing today. This is like a living example of how the online space can translate to in-person action and change and empowerment. And I am but the example. You know, the person that made that post is the person that put all the work in. I am simply someone who took it as an opportunity to actually change something in my life. So I thought I'd share this with y'all, because I think this is something that we can all be doing and striving for, and it should look whichever way is the most authentic to you and your lifestyle and the things that you want to do. But at the end of the day, I think the goal should always be to create real action. So that's why I wanted to bring y'all here today to share this process, and I don't know, maybe encourage you to also check out a community garden or to find ways to connect with your immediate community. I was doing some research online, and it looks like the wait list to get a spot at a community garden is quite long. It said 6 to 12 months, so that is a wait, but it also said that January to June is typically when spots open up. And so I did a little bit of research, and this is one of 2 locations that I would love to have a plot at. So I thought I would at least go and check them out, because I don't want to just like blindly sign up for something, and I want to make sure that I actually vibe with the space and it's a place that I could realistically see myself showing up to and growing my herbs. Yeah, let's go check it out. Okay, we're sitting on a bench. It's winter time, so obviously it doesn't really look like much, but it's actually across the way from a really big park as well in the area that I live. So that's cool too. I could see myself like doing a run or walking, visiting the water, and then coming up here, checking out my herbs and going about my day. I also read online that there is a trail connecting this community garden to the park as well. So definitely gonna have to check that out regardless. Yes, I have decided that I made the right decision coming here today, because I am actually so excited envisioning what the space could mean to me, I guess. This is only one of 2 community gardens that I want to visit, so now we're walking up a hill. I saw a path and I cannot help but follow it. This is awesome. This is very fun. It's very cool. But back to what I was saying earlier, I myself for the past year or so have already kind of like had the gears turning towards how I could create community in person through hiking or herbalism, or just generally mutual interest between people that I connect with in person and online. I think the biggest hurdle for me is just where to start. I feel like that is always the hardest part, and it's probably a lot easier than what I make it out to seem in my mind. But finding ways and being able to commune in person is going to become more and more necessary and valuable as we start to see how fragile these online spaces are. Our gifts, our interests, and our passions are always going to be a commodity on online spaces and apps, regardless of whether or not you consider yourself a content creator and someone who monetizes their account. Just showing up and being yourself and holding space on these online platforms is always going to be a commodity. And I think the trade-off has always been that at least we get to connect with each other on these spaces. But I think with the way that it's going and what we've seen thus far, just at the beginning of this year, I think it's important for us to remember that we are always more powerful as a community, and that community needs to be as strong as it is in person as it is online. All right, I'm gonna get off my soapbox for now because we have another community garden to visit, and as beautiful as this little park is, we are on a mission. All right, see you at the next garden. You know what, I just gotta say one thing. We need to all collectively have a conversation with maps, because I feel like more recently the directions I'm receiving, like, I would low-key be better off just figuring out myself. Maybe it's my city, who knows, but directions have been horrendous. That being said though, I was taken through so many neighborhoods that had so many cute little parks. The area I'm in has a lot of green spaces, and I knew that, but it's a little hard to navigate them just because a lot of them sit in the middle of like neighborhoods, and it's just because there's a lot of just like little preserved green spaces. Even near where I live, there is just like this huge preserve, and that was already insane to me when I first moved here, because I was like, okay, so I could literally walk to the forest, and it's miles, like it's huge. So it's low-key kind of fun to have maps send me around the whole world, because I get to see all the little places that I didn't know existed and will probably try to find again. But that is besides the point, because we are at the second community garden. Okay, so this one is pretty cool as well. It is definitely a little more inside the city, I will say. I think I do kind of appreciate the layout a little more. I wanted to show y'all this. That is actually very cool, and I didn't really see anything like that at the other community garden. Food grown in this plot is donated to food banks. Ooh, I see. Okay. Very, very cool. I do feel like because this one is seated definitely a little more inside of a community, it seems like it's probably a little more neighborhood specific. I mean, I'm sure that's not the truth, but that's kind of just the feel that I get. It feels a lot more community based versus the other one didn't seem as community oriented. Okay, y'all, I'm back in the car. I was kind of shy. I think continuing on to what I said about this feeling a lot more like a community garden, like the immediate community surrounding it garden, I feel like the vibe there was most definitely a little stronger versus the other community garden, which I really didn't want to show its location completely. But both of these are hidden from the main road, but that one was a little more set back and it was on a hill, and I feel like it was a lot more secluded. And also it didn't necessarily sit in a neighborhood like this one does. It actually backed up to that park that I was sitting in. So I feel like this one definitely has more of a community vibe versus the other one was just kind of like sort of like a standalone community garden. But honestly, I think if I were to choose between the two, I think I like the other location a lot more, just because it was an area that I would be more comfortable hanging out in. Yeah, I'm probably, hopefully, fingers crossed, going to try and get a plot in the other community garden, but it was still very cool to see how many active things were being grown in this community garden, because the other one didn't really seem like there was anyone tending to it. Like, obviously there were people tending to it, but this one clearly had plant grow giving, I forgot what it was called already, but essentially all the crops that will be grown to be donated. It was very well marked, and there was a lot going on in there. It kind of makes me think maybe I should still pursue both of these spaces, since that is why I want to join a community garden, to connect and it seems like I might have a better chance doing that at this location, but there's always the possibility that I can be that connection at the other one, so you never know. So these were the 2 closest community gardens to where I'm at. So glad that y'all were able to come and explore these community gardens with me as well. Yeah, I think this is definitely something that I want to challenge myself to do more, and that is to actually go out and be a member of the community. I've been in Seattle for a little over a year now, so I think it's definitely time for me to start doing this, and I'm kind of excited. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to check the link in the description to the post that ultimately inspired me to go out and do this today. And also, I can take all of the gardening advice that I can get, because I don't think I have a green thumb. I said I've never gardened before, but I have tried to grow plants from seeds and it failed miserably twice. I'm sure I'm just doing something wrong, but if any of y'all have any advice, please let me know. And as always, happy healing. All right, talk to y'all soon. Bye.